A new Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose this.
Watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Yeah,
because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second.
What we're talking about today is one of the biggest pop culture earthquakes of the decade. Imagine a documentary so explosive, so raw, and packed with so much never-before-seen footage that the internet literally stopped the moment Netflix dropped the trailer. That's exactly what happened with Sean Combs' The Reckoning, a 4-part docuseries that traces Diddy's rise from a hip-hop mastermind to a convicted felon whose world collapsed in front of millions. But the real twist, the part nobody saw coming, is that the executive producer behind this project is none other than 50 Cent. Yes, the man who has been trolling, roasting, and publicly dismantling Diddy for years. And he is now the creative force behind the documentary everyone is talking about. And today, 50 Cent is finally revealing why he did it, why the timing mattered, and why he believes this documentary had to exist no matter how messy, dark, or controversial the truth turned out to be. 2 years ago, when Cassie filed that lawsuit accusing Diddy of physical coercion, exploitation, manipulation, control, and years of what she described as psychological torment, the entertainment world cracked open. It was the first domino, the beginning of what would become a nonstop avalanche of allegations, lawsuits, federal investigations, and public scrutiny. At first, people thought Cassie's lawsuit was going to settle quietly. After all, within 24 hours, the case was resolved privately. But the damage was already done. The accusation went public. The details spread like wildfire. And suddenly dozens of people, former staff, ex-partners, dancers, collaborators, all began coming forward with stories that were more disturbing than anyone expected. 50 Cent watched all of this unfold in real time, and according to him, this was the moment he realized the public needed a space to actually understand the full picture, not just the scattered rumors online. On November 17, 2024, 50 Cent had plenty to say about Diddy's lawsuit settlement with Cassie. In a now-deleted Instagram post, the G-Unit founder and TV producer implied that Diddy's problems were only the beginning. He wrote, LOL, he paid that money real quick. Should have done that before the sharks saw red in the water. And here they come in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every woman he put his hand on. Just a day earlier, on November 16th, 50 Cent took to Twitter to fire off another jab, continuing his long-running pattern of mocking the bad boy figurehead. Damn, brother love, brother love, brother love. You out here looking crazy as MF. LMAO, he captioned alongside a photo. Diddy later released his own statement saying, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love." Sean Diddy Combs is currently serving a 50-month prison sentence after being convicted in late 2024 on 2 counts involving the transportation of individuals for adult industry activities. And the spotlight on his former associates has only grown more intense since then.
Never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
Shortly after Diddy's arrest in September 2024, 50 Cent revealed that he was teaming up with Netflix on a documentary aimed at exposing additional alleged crimes tied to Diddy, claims that, according to rumors, hadn't even made it to federal investigators yet. Speculation suggested that 50 Cent had been collecting information for nearly 2 decades, insisting he knew everyone involved and was ready to uncover what he called the larger mastermind behind the entire operation.
One of the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things.
50 Cent has emphasized that his upcoming documentary series won't revolve around internet rumors or recent speculation. Instead, it will dig into the inner workings of Diddy's alleged criminal network. According to multiple circulating reports, the information uncovered for this series is believed to have played a role in prompting a new criminal investigation into Diddy. But nothing prepared the world for what came next. In March 2024, federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami in a massive coordinated operation that looked like something out of a movie. Helicopters above the mansion, tactical teams at the gate, doors broken down, boxes of electronics and hard drives carried out. 50 Cent immediately reacted online with the now infamous line, "Now it's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done. They don't come like that unless they got a case." People thought he was joking, trolling, adding fuel to the fire. But behind the scenes, 50 Cent later admitted this was when he realized the story was too big, too important, and too historical to just stay on social media. This wasn't just beef anymore. This was one of the all-time falls from grace in music history. Then came the arrest. September 2024, Diddy was taken into custody on charges related to transporting former girlfriends across state lines for what prosecutors called freakoffs, a term Diddy supposedly used for staged, choreographed, intimate performances involving male escorts. The case was ugly, graphic, and filled with testimony about manipulation, surveillance, blackmail, luxury, and power. But the biggest shock came from the verdict. The jury convicted Diddy on 2 counts of transportation for P, but acquitted him on ST and racketeering conspiracy. After the decision, the jury members spoke publicly, admitting they struggled to match the legal definitions to Cassie's testimony and other stories presented. They found the behavior disturbing, but said the statutes were difficult to apply. Diddy was sentenced to 50 months in prison, though he's now trying to reduce that sentence.
The verdict in 50 months of incarceration for Diddy. Now, when you subtract the 14 months of time served, that comes to 3 years exactly.
The entire time, 50 Cent remained one of the loudest voices, commenting on every twist and turn. But today, he says the trolling wasn't the real reason he produced The Reckoning. In interviews, 50 Cent explained that he wanted to create something objective, something grounded in documentation, testimony, and real footage, not gossip. He described Netflix as the perfect home because of its global reach and because the streaming giant agreed to let director Alexandria Stapleton tell the story with complete independence. According to 50, the goal was not revenge, it was clarity. It was putting everything from decades of rumors, tragedies, scandals, violence, manipulation, and celebrity power on the table and letting the audience draw their own conclusions.
You know that the real goal was to storytell, and not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
One of the most chilling parts of the documentary comes from footage captured during Diddy's final days before his arrest, footage that he commissioned. Diddy hired a videographer to record his days in New York, allegedly to document what he thought would be proof of power overreach. Instead, the footage shows a man who looks paranoid, exhausted, and aware that the walls are closing in. He paces hallways, peers nervously out of hotel windows at federal agents stationed on rooftops, and makes frantic calls to his team demanding somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of media and propaganda to help him.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us, whether they're from this country or from another country. It could be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of media and propaganda.
At one point, after walking through Harlem and embracing fans, he immediately gets into his SUV and asks for hand sanitizer, joking that he needs to cleanse himself from all the people who touched him. There's an eerie sense of detachment, like he's already losing control.
People he had just embraced.
I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have.
One of the most talked about scenes in the documentary dives into the very first tragedy that thrust Diddy into public consciousness, the 1991 City College celebrity basketball event. The gym was designed for 2,700 people, but nearly 5,000 showed up, creating a deadly bottleneck that led to 9 deaths and dozens of injuries. The documentary shows footage from that night of crowds pushing, screams, bodies being pulled from stairwells. The event was partially organized by Diddy, who was still a young music promoter. According to the documentary, this moment changed his life forever.
At City College in the heart of New York City for the Puff Daddy Heavy D first all-time celebrity all
Instead of retreating from the public eye, he used the sudden recognition to launch Bad Boy Entertainment, and he allegedly placed the company under other people's names to avoid liability from the tragedy. Another intense part of The Reckoning explores the Tupac and Biggie feud. The documentary includes interviews suggesting that Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment escalated gang tensions, aligning with the Crips, while Death Row aligned with the B's. The documentary features statements from Keffe D, detailing an alleged $1 million offer from Diddy for the heads of Tupac and Suge Knight. According to Keffe D, half of the payment was supposedly delivered to an intermediary, but never reached him. Diddy has always denied any involvement, but the documentary includes these claims because they form part of the long-standing cultural conversation around the deletions.
He says there had been a payment from Combs to Keffe D, but it had gone through Zip, and then that money was never.
The documentary also explores Diddy's relationship with Biggie. It paints a complex picture, part mentorship, part control. Biggie's success was intertwined with Diddy's ambition, but according to some interviewed voices, Diddy wanted total dominance over Biggie's career. The most heartbreaking moment comes when Biggie, days before his elimination, allegedly begged not to stay in Los Angeles for a party Diddy insisted he attend. He wanted to go to the UK for a promo, but Diddy canceled the flight. The documentary suggests that decision ushered Biggie to his death. There's also the revelation that Diddy made Biggie's funeral a recoupable expense, meaning it came out of Biggie's posthumous earnings, not Diddy's pocket.
There's a yearning for him to have that complete, total control. You're my artist. You're my best friend.
You're writing this song for like 30 days.
I pay you.
50 Cent has repeatedly criticized Diddy for attaching himself to successful artists, everyone from Biggie and Maze to Rick Ross and French Montana. In 50's view, Diddy's career has long been fueled by the talents of others, a point he highlights often, and one that many in the industry quietly agree with. The idea that Diddy's involvement may sometimes stall or complicate the careers of the artists he works with isn't new, though it remains debated. Some insiders argue that these dynamics are simply part of the music business, where only a few artists receive sustained attention. Diddy usually avoids direct engagement with public controversies, including 50 Cent's repeated questions and accusations about his alleged ties to Tupac's death. Instead, he tends to dismiss such claims outright, an approach that hasn't done much to silence the speculation driven by 50 Cent and others. The documentary then shifts into the federal trial era, highlighting testimonies like that of Capricorn Clark, the former staffer who claimed Diddy threatened her life and kidnapped Cassie after learning she was dating Kid Cudi. The documentary reveals jurors struggled to fully believe her testimony, describing it as confusing and inconsistent. One juror even said she found herself mirroring Diddy's facial expressions in court, something that became a viral moment after the series premiered.
And sometimes look over to us like, can you believe they said that? In his facial expression.
The documentary also breaks down Cassie's testimony, including allegations of freakoffs, control, coercion, and surveillance. But jurors explained on camera why they couldn't legally convict Diddy on T. The law required proof of force, fraud, or coercion, and they felt the evidence didn't meet that bar, even if the relationship itself looked deeply unhealthy. They described Cassie as someone who seemed trapped emotionally, not physically forced. They called it complicated, confusing, and morally disturbing, but not legally clear-cut.
For granted, he never thought that she'll leave her. So it's like both hands clapping together. You cannot clap with one hand. The both hands like this, then you get.
Then there's the $200 million moment. In footage captured days before his arrest, Diddy is heard telling the mother of his youngest child that he's about to deposit $200 million right now. The filmmakers suggest he was moving money in anticipation of federal charges, shifting nearly half his reported $400 million fortune. It's one of the most revealing moments in the entire series, showing how urgently Diddy was preparing for the storm he knew was coming.
For his arrest.
I'm about to deposit $200 million right now. I feel good.
The documentary also dives into the freakoff culture, featuring testimony from male partner Clayton Howard, who says he engaged in sessions over 8 years that were highly staged and controlled. He describes Diddy regulating everything from the lighting to the baby oil to collecting bodily fluids. For many viewers, this section has been the most disturbing part of the entire series. And when asked about including these details, 50 Cent said the goal wasn't sensationalism, it was documentation. But this wasn't the first time 50 Cent had taken a public swing at Diddy. It was far from it. One of his most viral jabs came during the Homeland Security raids on Diddy's homes in California and Florida. At the time, a representative from Homeland Security investigations in Miami confirmed to CNN that the activity at Diddy's Star Island mansion was connected to the execution of a federal search warrant. HSI, being the investigative arm of the Department of Homeland Security, handles major transnational crimes, everything from HT and narcotic smuggling to organized criminal networks. As HSI agents wrapped up their work at the Star Island property, reports even began surfacing suggesting potential connections between the case and Jay-Z. And right on cue, 50 Cent jumped into the chaos. He never stays quiet when Diddy becomes the center of attention, and this time was no different. Sharing a screenshot showing Sean's 2 sons, Justin and King Combs, being escorted out of his Los Angeles home in handcuffs, 50 Cent immediately posted it on social media. S just got real. The feds in all the cribs. They got the kids in cuffs, he wrote. Moments later, he uploaded another post showing federal agents outside the home. It seems that 50 Cent is seizing the opportunity to comment on the situation surrounding Diddy's recent headlines, likely adding fuel to their ongoing feud. He didn't stop there. 50 even shared a fan-made video branding Diddy as too freaky for society, with the caption, "Ran off and left the kids in the whole SH. Yo, he doing the race. Said F it." This round of trolling came right as Homeland Security executed simultaneous raids, sparking waves of speculation on social media. Some users even suggested, half joking, half serious, that 50 Cent must be working with investigators, given how quickly and confidently he commented on every development. Whether true or not, it added yet another layer to their long-running feud. For years, 50 Cent has used every opportunity to take public shots at Diddy, especially when the bad boy mogul faces legal trouble. This raid incident became one more example of 50 taking aim and pouring fuel on the fire. Now, why did 50 Cent produce this? Not for beef, he insists. Not for revenge. Not for clicks. According to him, the story was bigger than the music industry, bigger than hip-hop drama, bigger than celebrity scandal. He says it shows what happens when a culture elevates someone to godlike status, protects them, worships them, and refuses to question them until it's too late. Director Alexandria Stapleton described the documentary as mirror reflecting us, as the public, and what we are saying when we put our celebrities on such a high pedestal. And 50 Cent says he agrees. To him, this project is about power, accountability, and the dark side of celebrity worship.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy has responded, of course. Through a spokesman, he called the documentary shameless hit piece by a longtime adversary with a personal vendetta. He claims the documentary twists facts, exploits old rumors, and is designed to humiliate him while he's in prison. But 50 Cent insists the documentary speaks for itself. He says the footage, the interviews, the files, and the testimonies were collected over 2 years with objectivity in mind. He claims he didn't influence the narrative, not even once. His role, he says, was bringing the project to Netflix, giving the team the resources they needed, and ensuring nobody from Diddy's camp could interfere.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it. That's one of the moments where he forgot.
As the documentary premieres on Netflix, the world is watching. Fans, critics, former employees, industry legends, and people who grew up idolizing Diddy are all trying to make sense of a story that spans 30 years, dozens of scandals, and countless lives impacted. And 50 Cent, standing firmly in the center of the cultural conversation, says this is just the beginning. According to him, there are more interviews, more footage, and more revelations that didn't even make it into the documentary because the story is still unfolding. Diddy has appealed his conviction. He's participating in a prison sobriety program, hoping to shorten his sentence. His businesses have collapsed. His reputation is in shambles. His public legacy is now permanently contaminated by allegations that will follow him forever. And 50 Cent believes documenting this moment, this exact cultural turning point, is necessary because history needs a clear record of how someone so powerful fell so far, so fast, and in such a dramatic and disturbing fashion. This is Sean Combs, The Reckoning, and this is why 50 Cent made it.